Good afternoon and welcome to week 3 of SBNM 5011 Ethical Leadership. Personally, I think this is one of the more interesting weeks, this week and next week, as you begin to examine different types of leadership, different styles, how they coincide with the moral philosophies, how they apply to you or whether they apply to you, and examining a leader, historical or current leader, that exemplifies these types of leadership. So this week we're looking at transformational leadership, and the first thing that you want to do is read the material on transformational leadership, and then take the self-assessment and look at how you see yourself as a transformational leader, and that will be by looking at the results of the multi-factor leadership questionnaire. The first factors being transformational leadership, the second being transactional, and the third laissez-faire. If you score with medium to high potential on the transformational factors, then you have a good potential to become a transformational leader. And then the next thing that you'll do is watch the video of King Henry V and his St. Crispin's Day speech. Now, if you have trouble with the English accent or the Shakespearean language, it's short. You might want to watch it a couple times. And then take a look at how he fits into those factors that you just examined yourself on, the transformational factors on the multi-factor leadership questionnaire: idealized influence, inspirational motivation, etc. So that's the way you're going to examine transformational leadership, is with yourself, and then by looking at King Henry V. Also pay attention to how deontology aligns with transformational leadership. I want you to examine how you see that in King Henry. And if you thought you also scored high in transformational leadership, look at how you tend to operate according to deontology or not. Because if you don't, you may have less potential to be a transformational leader than you had originally thought. So then you're going to move on to looking at authentic leadership, and you'll do it in the same way. You'll read the materials on authentic leadership, and you will take a look at yourself, do the self-assessment, and just as with transformational leadership, there are factors that you weigh in the self-assessment, and each of those factors are important factors of authentic leadership. I think I've also given you a video to watch by not Ken Burns, perhaps not. But take a look at authentic leadership, and after you've evaluated yourself according to those factors, listen to Ursula Burns. Really very, very interesting woman who I believe exemplifies authentic leadership. Listen to that video and then evaluate her again on those same factors that you evaluated yourself on the authentic leadership questionnaire. I think that's important for you to do in order to evaluate her as an authentic leader. Then finally, authentic leaders tend to align themselves with virtue ethics. Examine how that is true with Ursula Burns, and then go back and take a look at yourself. Do you operate according to virtue ethics, that internalized moral perspective, which is a part of what you evaluated on the questionnaire? If you are not high in that internalized moral perspective, You likely don't operate from virtue ethics or everyday virtue. And if that's the case, perhaps you are not an authentic leader, or you may desire to grow in that way. So that's the first discussion forum on transformational leadership and authentic leadership. And then finally, you're doing not discussion, I'm sorry, an assignment. If you were doing the online class, this would be a discussion forum, but you're not, so this is just an assignment. The second assignment is again on the SB&M custom text and whether ethics codes in an organization build true corporate ethics. There's two sides to that. Take a look at those. I've given you directions a little different from the directions that I gave you in last week's assignment involving minimum wage. Make sure you answer the questions completely and thoroughly, and then again examine which argument aligns with which of the moral philosophies. So take a look at that. Submit those, the first one by Wednesday and the second one, or the first one by Thursday, the second one by Saturday. And then I will grade those and get back to you. Of course, make sure that if you have any questions as you're working through any of this material, please don't hesitate to contact me. I think this is a fun week, but I really enjoy the leadership material, looking at others as role models, but also looking at who I am and how I want to grow. And of course, in your final paper in this course, that's exactly what you're going to do when you put all of this together. So I hope you enjoy the week. Have a great week, and I will post another video next week. Take care, stay well, stay safe.